Hello folks, how's it going? Right, big story today everyone's talking about. I saw this video on my mate's Facebook page. Let's have a quick watch.
I believe in votes at 16. If you're old enough to fight for your country, you are old enough to vote. The Labour Party believes that young people should have their say over their future, which is why I will be voting to extend the franchise to 16 and 17-year-olds this Friday. During the general election, young people across the UK rejected the myth that they're disengaged from party politics. 2 million young people registered to vote, and we witnessed the highest youth turnout since 1992. The time for votes at 16 has come, so let's work together to force the government to extend the franchise and build a democracy that works for the many, not the few.
Well, we've heard it all before, haven't we? Let's fix that fucking logo as well while I'm on. There we go. Perfect. Now Jeremy will like it. So anyway, they've been pushing this for quite a while, haven't they? John McDonnell famously said he's going to give under 16s a vote on Brexit. That was at the arse end of September this year. He was telling Radio 1 during an interview, if you're 16, we want you to have a vote. The most important thing for 16-year-olds is, let's give them a vote. Let's trust them, right? So the obvious question there is, what else would you trust a 16-year-old with? You're going to give them the right to vote, fuck it, let them do everything. Let them get pissed, let them visit the whorehouse, let them gamble, become rent boys, whatever they want, right? Fuck it, we trust them. And this is the thing, we don't fucking trust them. Nobody trusts them. My dad didn't trust me as far as he could throw me, and he was wise to be that way. And he could throw me quite far as well. He threw me several times, and he did quite a good fucking job of it. Here's another one from just a few days ago. Why 16-year-olds won't get the vote in time for an election. Obviously the BBC are fucking whinging about it, because they're desperate to see clueless youth voting for fucking shit, because they know they're the only ones that can easily control. Why won't they be able to vote? Because it's fucking stupid. The Lib-Dems are doing it as well. Why are they doing it? Because they know that's the best chance they have of winning an election. They know for a fact. My point is, why are they still pretending that they care about democracy? These far-left activist types, they are deliberately trying to stick a finger on the scales because they know they're not going to fucking win. So they're thinking of anything to help them win the next election. Oh, let's give kids a chance to vote. Let's give all the foreigners a chance to vote. Let's say you don't even have to be based in the UK, or you don't have to be born here, or you don't have to be a British citizen. You can all fucking vote. Yeah, because then it's not really a democracy, is it? Why don't they just say, fuck it, every time we want to elect a leader in the UK, we'll just put a vote up on the internet, like one of those Twitter fucking polls, and we'll just let everyone join in. You might be from Shanghai or Buenos Aires. Fuck it, let's let everyone have a go. Should we invade the Falklands? 9. It's fucking ridiculous. Should we argue with the European Union and defend our own interests? 9. Schnell. You know, that type of shit. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Here's another one. Vote of the youth in the Scottish Sun. National election Scotland. Teens 16 and 17 have no say over their future, as if that's some sort of like egregious assault on their rights that's only recently been stripped from them or something. For the ones who foolishly thought they would be able to hibernate until Christmas, the news of the national election filled them with dread. Teens 16 and 17 are not allowed to vote in general elections. Yes, as they fucking should be. Their voices won't get heard. Well, do you know why your voice doesn't get heard when you're a little kid? Because you talk total shit and you don't know anything. I'll tell you what though, you can always get a good sense of the general public by looking at the Have Your Say section on the BBC, because it's a very popular news website and you get obviously thousands of people responding to the stories. All I always go down to the bottom, click on highest rated, and see where you end up. And typically, unless it's like a proper lefty activist story, because they're the only ones who'll read them, it gives you sort of like a general sense of where we're at. And look at the top comment there, 175 to 38 up versus down votes. And he says, no, do not give kids the right to vote. They are kids. Like, that's some sort of like pioneering visionary who's just said that. Common fucking sense. Let's check a few more. What's the second highest upvoted? The only reason that Labour and the SNP want children voting is because they've spent years brainwashing them in schools via the unions. If you consider a 16-year-old mature enough to vote, then let them drive, drink and gamble. Yep, exactly what I said. What about this one? Children should not be allowed to vote. Yep. 18 is young enough. Yep. 18 to 24-year-olds are more likely to support Labour. So it's a fair assumption to say this would be the case for 16 and 17-year-olds. Then they grow up and vote Conservative. Seems pretty unequivocal. And the BBC is, you know, a left-leaning media group, unless you're a fucking lunatic. Because I know there's a few militant lefties who try to claim that the BBC is some sort of fucking fascist conspiracy as well. But if you're living in the real world, BBC's a centrist, centre-left sort of website. So there, top. It looks like nobody. There's a good comment. Children should be kept well clear of organised crime. I like it. That's a good one. So the point is, nobody thinks this, and it reminded me. I wrote a quorant about this back in the day. Rather than risk repeating myself, I'll revisit it now. Question: should the voting age be lowered to 16 in the UK? Answer: definitely not. For a very simple reason. Politicians that we inexplicably call elites, despite the fact they are not fit to run a foot race, a bath or a corner shop, are ridiculously short-sighted. Yeah, funny that, I know we call everyone elite. There's a picture of an elite soldier. They're purposely myopic because they only care about the short term. Obviously they feel that their personal circumstances are far more important than the needs of their constituents, and now they're pissed off, so they want to rush through legislation without considering the long-term implications. Not one of them seems to have heard the old adage, a society grows great when old men plant trees with whose shade they know they shall never sit. They only care about what happens next election. I also find it amusing that the left frequently talks about how foolish young people are as well. They say they're foolish when they join a terrorist group at 16. Yeah, remember that one? Shamima Bagoom. Oh, she was only foolish, yeah? Bit foolish. Let's just let her back in. She can fucking decapitate people on fucking Bethnal Green instead. Yeah, and they say they're foolish when they assault conservatives at universities, and they say they're foolish when they hack the Pentagon. They say, oh, they're too young to know any better. And you know what? I agree with them fully. Nobody over 35 would say, you know everything you need to know when you're 16. I ignored everything my dad told me when I was 16. It's only when you turn 35, you suddenly have an epiphany and you go, shit, the old fucker was right about everything. There's a shocked old lady. My mum told me to study electrical engineering instead of LGBT studies. After I'd been in my 50th porno movie, I realised she was right. Yeah. So it's totally understandable why they want to lower the voting age. They want to recruit impressionable young minds to their cause. But it's not a good idea, because then they are voters, and what will they vote for next? Labour should have learned this with Corbyn, a grossly incompetent Tory PM, and the worst Conservative manifesto I've ever read. Someone like David Miliband would have absolutely crushed her, but the youth wanted Corbyn and once again they lost. I think everyone can agree there, can't they? Like, Theresa May's manifesto was fucking shocking. They pissed off the old people. They started talking about, like, decriminalising the ivory trade and shit. Like, things that nobody fucking cares about at all. And they just bring it back. It was like she's purposely trying to fuck it up. And she still won. Anyway, I pointed out that Democrats in America are exactly the same, and they're learning it with AOC, where she's hardly proved willing to bend the knee to Pelosi. And again, it'll bite them in the arse come election day. Trump will win if they just go all in with this far left fucking bollocks, because nobody's interested. The simple fact is, I'm not having a go at young people. I think we're all young at some point. But young people aren't known for their balanced, circumspect, coldly logical view of the world. They're passionate and fiery, and that's a good thing, because we're all young once, and we all should fucking enjoy ourselves. But why do you think suicide bombers are always under 35? Is that not obvious? You don't get 73-year-old suicide bombers, do you? And you'd think they'd be the happiest to do it because they're like, fuck it, I've had a gun innings. But it's not. It's young people, because young people are impressionable. I'll finish up with this, and I've made this argument dozens of times. If you're having a shit time in your life, you come home, you're a 40-year-old man, turns out your wife's been having an affair and she's leaving you, you get diagnosed with cancer, you lose your job. What do you do if you need advice, life advice, emotional support? Who do you phone? Who do you call and say, what do you think I should do? Would you call your 59-year-old mum? Or would you call your fucking 16-year-old niece? Unless fucking Avril Lavigne is a bastion of knowledge. better off ringing your mum or your dad, aren't you? Like I said, I think if anything, the voting age should be up higher. It should be 21. Because we're all fucking daft when we're 18 as well, aren't we? I find me a human being on planet Earth who looks back at the age of 50 and says, you know what? I was well switched on when I was 18. I knew everything I need to know when I was 18. Nobody will say that. I think if you polled the general public, they might even vote to put it higher, not fucking lower. Ridiculous. And again, we all know why they want to do it. It's because they can't fucking win. And to finish up, if anyone wasn't aware, look, here we see. They're trying to do it over here. Washington Examiner, House rejects Democratic push to let 16-year-olds vote. The Democratic-led House on Thursday turned down a proposal to let 16-year-olds vote in federal elections, which Republicans said is a plot to put more Democrats in office. No shit. Almost every Republican and nearly half of Democrats voted against the amendment. Thank fuck for that. So, at least half of the Democrat Party is not insane. It was Ayanna Pressley who was pushing this. Let's have a look at Ayanna Pressley. Fucking hell, she's only young herself. What is she, 46? Obviously a fucking idiot. She is married to a guy called Conan though. That's cool. Got a lot of time for Conan. We could use Conan in the House of Representatives right now. I think Conan would get some shit done. During a debate on the idea, Pressley argued Congress needs to lower the voting age so young people can have a say in federal elections. From gun violence to climate change, our young people are mobilising. Yes, they are, but they don't fucking know anything. Seriously, I had to pass a civics test when I was getting my US citizenship. I would love to know how well some of these fucking punk kids are doing answering those questions. They don't know anything. Something like 70% of them don't even know the dates of World War II. Like, they don't know shit. If the most important things in running a country were knowledge of Justin Bieber, then I would fully support giving them it. But it isn't, so I don't. Let's forget about this shit. Completely ridiculous. Still, it looks like the left in the United States are far more sensible than the left in England. Let's see what happens in the long term. I'll talk to you fuckers later. Cheers.